boys, Jake back with another video featuring the JgPzIV 4. I know you've never seen this on this channel before, but this time my wife and I were platooned up while she was streaming to work on our third mark of her Cromwell, and we were joined by one of her more recent viewers, a little HHH, which he also is a streamer. He's starting out, so feel free to look him up and check him out. But this is one of my favorite vehicles on one of my favorite maps, because I know most people just call this Malinovka, but I like having diversity of maps. I don't want 3 corridors. Even though technically there is at least one corridor on this map, the hill, I like having some open maps. And it suits this high DPM, stealthy but still mobile vehicle that is known as the JgPzIV 4. Now, this is a highly typical spot. There's no secret here, but it's still a very good spot. For, well, at least one way is I was able to counter spot the enemy light tank. And of course that's going to get me spotted, so you've seen I was immediately reversing. But keep in mind, typical spots do not mean that they're bad spots. It's not lazy to go to them. They're typical because, well, a lot of times they can produce results. And you just have to be careful because it's easy. Again, see, this is a key thing here. My spotting of him and damage to the AMX-12T allowed the grill to finish him off. And if you notice, I also went for tracking shots, which, be aware of that yourself when you play a French light. He should have been reversing into that bush. I actually was going through the tracks and probably also could have got his engine at the same time. That's an issue with the French lights. Here I'm telling little HHH to fall back because he's coming up here to... He's more of a World of Warships player, I believe, but he's trying World of Tanks as well. And he was going to move up here beside me with the KV-2, which of course would be absolutely suicidal for him. But everything seems to have settled down a little bit. We're behind on hit points and behind on kills, but it's still very early in the game, and it's neither are dangerously so. And we have a light tank in a very good position. Then plenty of mediums to the south. Looks like we have a decent coverage of the hill. We're not going to win it with what we have going on, but looks like decent coverage. And that starts to change here in just a second. You see me just trying to sneak in shots of opportunity. And I watch the map and immediately turn, because I'm noticing that from this position you can shoot people who venture too close to the edge on both levels of the hill. And I decided that I'm going to start working on this KV-2. And this is where you get to see the major DPM of the JgPzIV coming into play. But now I'm also keeping tabs on the fact that there's a Fury, a Cromwell B, and a Sherman in that midpoint at C5. If they decide to push the dip right below where I was, yes, the AMX would spot them, but I would get spotted in return, and the hill's falling. So the prudent choice for me is to get back into cover back here. As you see, I'm almost trying to herd the artillery back. And the prudent thing is to get back here and cover the absolutely obvious push that's going to come from the hill. Because most players, they win the hill and they just charge straight down. Maybe not instantly, but they eventually just roll straight down the hill into your guns. There is a way to actually come down off the hill to avoid driving into hidden guns, but most people don't do it. As you can see, the T-14, he immediately just charges straight in, and I will get to finish him off here in a second. If you're going to come down off the hill, you have to drop down below the ridge line, and then you drive down what would be closer to the 9 line. Don't come down the 0 line. there's some lowness of ground there that you can get down in. Thankfully, the enemies don't know that. And so we're able to kind of bring it back. It was looking a little bad there for a minute. And it's going to stay, we're going to stay on the back foot for a while. Now, I'm stealthy, and I do, yes, use binoculars on this. I know binoculars have fallen out of fashion in this game, but tank destroyers who are going to be stationary and have high camo, binoculars still can be useful because it allows you to get to a bush and passive spot. And I'm trying to help my wife out here because she's taking a beating, and she is trying to 3-mark this. Spoiler alert, she does actually get her 3rd mark at least a day later. Because this battle was from Monday of this week before the update. And she did get it actually as of last night. She had a little short stream. Got her 3rd mark in the Cromwell. And me, I'm just playing one of my favorite vehicles. But now, Little H, he actually moves up to take the lead position. And you see me kind of going back and forth. I'm looking at the map. A lot of times I spend my time looking at the map. And I see the T-67, and it looks like maybe the T-78 from the enemy team might be pushing this out. And I'm kind of deciding, and you see I thankfully did not go down there just yet, because I was trying to weigh the options of going straight down there to help out in the south versus help my platoon mates here. But with the immediate threat to them, I decide I do need to go try to take care of that T-67. Because all we have is an M10 RBFM sitting at base. And looking at his position, I'm not going to count too much on it. He's sitting inside the building, it looks like. Which means if he's inside the building there, he will not spot that T-67 until the T-67 has made it all the way into our base. And it looks like the T-78 is kind of working his way down. And already there's that RBFM. He pulled out and already took hits. So I was thinking of pushing down here. I'm still considering it. Little HHH just went down, and I think, well, no, I better not. I need to be 2 places at the same time. That's what I'm thinking to myself right now at this point of the game. Because I can't leave her on 31 HP. I can't leave her to handle what I believe to be both a Cromwell B and a Fury about to charge down the hill. And I don't know, you don't know what enemies are thinking. Like, if they had pushed through right then, which I'm thinking the Cromwell B and the Fury are probably mostly full health. And if they just pushed through, they would have won the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If a full health Cromwell B and mostly full health Fury pushed through, and they were smart with their selective fire, they would shoot her first, kill her, and then I would get double tracked and surrounded by 2 fast mediums. And yes, the JgPzIV 4 has very fast traverse and very high DPM, and I could take out 1, but not 2. If they both dogpiled and just got aggressive, they could have won this game right here and now. And I know that. Because the AMX ELC 901's all the way forward. He's in a good position to spot for the Jackson and the M10. But he can't do anything back here. The 2 artillery, you cannot count on them. It's nothing against an artillery player. It's just that it's an indirect fire weapon, and you cannot count on it. It will miss more than it hits when it's trying to snapshot. And the Jackson and RBFM are in no position to support up here. And if they do try to turn and move, they're probably going to get spotted. But thankfully, the grill has been fairly spot on. I still wouldn't count on it in a panic direct fire mode. And here I am just moving up, And my reasoning for panning all around is I'm trying to see if I notice any trees falling. I lock, you notice the exclamation point here and there, down on the left-hand side of the screen. I actually locked the camera here in a second to keep my gun pointed uphill so I can pan around. Now what I'm looking for, I mean, I zoom back like this and pan around, I'm looking to see, do any trees get knocked down? Do any fences get knocked over? Is there any buildings getting destroyed? Because the Cromwell B could be anywhere. He was up on the hill, because little HHH said that he was getting hit by both the Fury and Cromwell B. And I know for sure, at least the Fury, he said he was on the hill, and the Cromwell B was going to be close by. And they're platooned. So they could be definitely communicating well and moving. So are they still up? This is what's going through my head right now. Are they still sitting right up there, ready to break cover and come downhill at any moment? Or have they moved maybe lower? So I keep panning around to see, am I seeing anything? And you should do this when there's nothing going on in front of you. Pan around. You can hold your right mouse button, and the right mouse button will keep your vehicle and your gun aimed where you think you needed it to be. And I'm not seeing anything. I keep looking, because I almost suspect the Cromwell B, I keep looking down back towards the water. I almost suspect the Cromwell B to be going towards that little ledge that I was at earlier. If I was the Cromwell B, that's where I would go. And I'm hoping to see maybe a tree go down to give away the fact that that's what's happening. The ELC is wanting us to do something. And he, of course, doesn't. I don't think he realizes how low a health she is. But I do have full health. And it is a risk in a non-turreted tank destroyer to get aggressive. I do have a large repair kit. But if there's two mediums up here, and they're at least halfway capable, they can easily just double track, surround me, and I'm dead. Now, Fury was still right here. Now, like I said, I can easily take one-on-one, especially if they're not going to try to flank me. So now I'm feeling pretty confident. I only took one hit in that exchange, and no artillery coming in. The ELC decided after I guess located the Fury, he could take the risk of getting the Skoda. And now that just leaves a T-78, who seemingly is still to the south, and the Cromwell B, which we don't know where he is. He wasn't with his platoon mate, which I found very odd. I thought, I'm intentionally driving out in the open up here to see if I get spotted. So I thought, well, maybe he ducked into the A0 corner. But no, I don't know why the Cromwell B wasn't with his platoon mate. And then here in a second, it becomes apparent. He was kind of with him, but lower. And I'm going to try to feather a shot between the buildings here to finish him off. And that tracks nice, straight, and true. Which now, with a minute and a half left, finally I get artillery focused. There's both of them coming in. The Bishop was the second one from the really high angle. And I'm clicking where roughly I estimated one to come from. No shots on the SU, so I leave that for her to go after. And I'm going to get a couple hits into the Bishop to finish off. And then the gun absolutely betrays me with the last shot. It goes high. But lets her get another kill. And there won't be any detailed results for this, because this would not upload to either Watt Record or the normal World of Tanks replay site. So you get a screenshot. And I forgot to take all 3 screenshots. But I will zoom in here so you can see that I had 3,838 damage and 714 assistance. So about 4,600 combined. I hope you enjoyed watching this. And thanks.